I'm Charles Collins, and I'm doing an interview with a World War II veteran. What's your full name?
Winfried Scott Meuller.
And when you were in the Second World War, is that right?
Yes, I was.
And where, how did that happen?
Well, through the draft.
When you were drafted, about what
Around
year was
April
that?
1942.
Okay, and where did you go for your induction?
Fort Custer. I also trained, got training of MP training there.
You took military police training at Fort Custer?
Right.
And so how long was you at Fort Custer?
Well, we were, I'd say a little over 6 months.
What happened after you went to after you finished your military training school?
Yeah. We then went to pick up some prisoners of war that came from the Rommel
Theater there in Africa?
theater in Africa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And where did you take them?
We took them over to Camp Swift, Texas, and that's where we
You guarded them there then?
were
Kept them there?
there perhaps 6 months.
And these fellows were most all from Rommel's campaign in Africa?
Yes.
The how were they treated there?
They were treated very well.
Were they?
They liked it.
What was their food?
Same thing we had. They never, they hadn't had beef in a long, long time.
They had,
No.
and they had lots to eat then. How about their sleeping quarters and so on?
Well, there were barracks and similar to what we had, except that they were on the first floor and we had double barracks.
Oh, they had the single floor barracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were quick put up, you know. And
Mm-hmm. Were they in a camp that was totally enclosed and guarded?
yes,
or
it was totally enclosed. A double fence all the way around it.
a double fence?
Yes, we had dogs that we'd walk around through the
Okay.
fence.
And so did their barracks have bars on them, or was it just a fence around the
just the
perimeter?
fence.
Just the
That's it.
fence.
Perimeter fence.
Was it any?
Well, we had the towers
Uh-huh.
to be able to keep them under
Surveillance.
scrutiny.
And were they happy there? Were they? Did they
They
like
seemed
the
to be.
camp, or did they? Were they really unhappy?
They seemed to be very happy.
Did they? Many of them try to get away.
None of them.
None of them.
So
They knew
they
better.
didn't want it. They had it. They never had something.
What, did you have an opportunity at all to talk to any of the fellas
Yes.
that were? Could they? Any of them speak English?
Yes. A lot of them could speak English. It was quite. I thought it was quite. And a lot of them were young, very young.
Were they?
Yes. Younger.
What would you think?
There were older ones, but there were a lot of mixed younger ones.
What would you think the youngest age was?
My age.
Yeah, 18, 20. Not 14 or 15.
No.
Okay.
No. About my age.
And how long was you there at the at that camp in Texas?
I was there about 6 months.
About 6 months. So by that time it was probably getting fall or winter in Texas.
I saw one snow.
Really?
While I was there.
And then where did you go?
Then we went over to Camp Atterbury, Indiana, and we were put in replacement for replacement troops.
Okay.
But we did train and formed a division.
Okay, and what was
Which
that?
is the 106th Division.
106th Division. And where was the 106th Division sent to then after your training was completed?
It was sent over to England, somewhere. It was a port. One side of it was Scotland, and the other side
Okay.
was
Was
English.
England.
So I don't remember the name of it,
Uh-huh.
but it would get you entered it through the straits.
Okay, and then after your training in England, or your time in England, where did you go?
We went France, Le Havre, France,
And then,
and boarded trucks and were shipped on up to the front line where the 101st had pushed ahead of us.
yeah, okay.
And they were due for
Relief.
replacements and getting reorganized. And we went in and filled their shoes.
Yeah, so at the time of replacement at the 101st, there obviously was a lot of them fellows already wounded and
Yes, they went out.
and having
We replaced them as a one division,
the whole division was replaced, huh?
and their artillery went with them. And
Really?
our artillery hadn't been put in place, and then the Bulge happened. Right,
Oh.
all within a week's time.
Really? And so you was at the start of the Battle of the Bulge.
Yes, they broke through in the north of us through some English troops,
Mhm.
and they were sort of making a offensive movement, north and south. And we were in the middle,
Were you trapped then, or
pretty much, right from the word go.
really? So what was your experiences during that particular period of time?
Well, it was eating when you could, and
The food wasn't as good as it was in Texas?
no, and we didn't eat for sometimes for several days. The ammunition and stuff like that was priority, and that was even cut off eventually. And then we pulled up on in the mountainous area or the highlands
Mhm.
in Belgium.
So during that time in Belgium and
Yeah,
Battle
you
of the...
remember the general saying nuts
Yeah,
to surrender? And we were about 25 miles from them, maybe less.
really?
And the German were in between.
They had you surrounded then at that time?
They had us, we were already surrounded, but we were on a hill and just keeping them off. And they were trying to get us out of the way so they could finish the job.
So that was, what was that general's name, do you remember?
No, I don't.
I don't either. So that was when Patton and his group come up and really rescued you, is that right?
No.
No?
Well, yeah, it was, and a lot of transpired between them.
Yeah. So how long was you surrounded during that battle?
It's hard to say because so many things happened.
Yeah.
They'd rush it, we'd rush it back and down,
Uh-huh.
and they were trying to just get us just
Yeah.
rid out of there. And it was
Did you get supplies during that
holiday.
time then?
well, yeah. They like I said, the mostly ammunition.
Ammunition.
is,
Not a whole lot of food.
and a lot of it was dropped
By
food and
airplanes?
things like that by planes, and it would float off so we couldn't get it, and or we'd have to fight over it. But mostly we didn't get much, and but we did get through it. That was
So that was the 106th Division.
6th Division. Yeah.
And
101st had gone back
you
to
were-
were in France.
you were totally surrounded at that time by the Germans.
Yes.
And
Well, that was the Bulge when it first happened,
mhm.
and then they had gone right on past us, and when we came down, we got pushing back.
Mhm.
But that was how long it was. It was almost a month through Christmas and I remember
So that was Christmas
New Year's.
42 or 43?
It would be 43 probably.
Christmas of 43.
Oh wait, 42. Because
40.
the New Year's
Yeah.
of 43.
Yeah, so you'd only been in about 9 months then.
Yeah. And,
So that was a lot of experience in that 9 months, wasn't it?
it was. Well, it was.
Yeah.
Everything was a first.
Yeah. Do you recall any of the particular times that, while you were being surrounded by the Germans, that come to mind?
Well, they did a lot of shelling, and we lost people. You go for mess with your equipment and come back, and somebody find this hole and there's everything blown out of it.
Oh my.
Sometimes there were at one time there's a young man named Patton, and he was close to my foxhole, and he was killed when I'd gone for mess
Mhm.
shrapnel.
Yeah. So you had a place for a mess hall and things at that
Well,
point?
what they did, they cooked, yeah.
Yeah.
But you take your equipment and go down and get it and eat it wherever you.
Yeah, I bet.
pretty much. Take it back there in Foxhole.
Every time you had a chance to get food, huh?
Well, I think they did have a place to eat, but a lot of times you just wander off. You didn't want to. You didn't want to bunch up because you're under fire. If you bunched up while you're eating, then it'd be
Yeah.
a massacre.
As you, this month went by then, and the Germans were pushed back past you again, was that it?
Yeah, they we were more or less. That was when they surged back.
Mm-hmm.
Patton came. I watched him come up one time, turn around and go back because firepower the German tanks was had 88s, and I think that's when they were on the first rush like that. We only had the 70 millimeters, and they were unloading as fast as they could and putting them on the tanks, the 90 millimeters, and to fight the German.
Mm-hmm.
The 70 just bounced off their armor.
So did you get involved in the loading and unloading at all, or?
No, we were still waiting on the help
Uh-huh.
for some help.
You were still waiting for help
Yeah.
at that time.
And by the time they got to us, they just about depleted their manpower part, they had people to follow the tanks, you know,
Yeah.
to clean up,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, when they overrun that area. And they'd lost most of their people, and we just joined right in and became part of their cleanup crew.
So then you went on with Patton.
I was with a different outfit, I don't remember the name, but we, our division was lost completely. The flag was taken and everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, during the Battle of Bulge. And we just were splinter groups.
So you just joined another
Joined into the, like we,
another division then?
people I were with went in behind the Patton tanks. And
Okay.
then they did put us into another division. I don't remember
Don't remember the division number.
the
So then, as you followed the American tanks, how far did you go then?
Approximately the same area that we had fallen out of.
Do you remember the names of any of the towns?
Oh, Le Havre. Oh, no, that's. Tri-Point. Mostly were Belgian towns.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember them too well. It's small.
Did you get on into Germany with these fellas, or were you replaced?
I've got I was with oh, they got the recaptured the flags,
Uh-huh.
and then we started building the troops
Uh-huh.
up, you know, the division, and we were on right on the Siegfried line there, and the Rainbow, I think that was a division. It moved on up to the Herb,
Okay.
and I know that because my cousin was in that group.
Uh-huh.
But they wouldn't let them cross because they were holding back going into Berlin and let the Russians have it.
Okay, so they...
We were kind of put out that we didn't
I bet.
have the chance of going to Berlin.
So how far is Belgium from Berlin? Any idea?
I have no idea. It would have been a couple hundred miles.
Yeah, did you ever get into Germany at all then, or did you just...
No, I didn't get into Germany other,
Okay, just
other
stayed
than being there.
just on the northern part of Belgium?
Yeah, and then they started the war ended,
Right.
and I waited and was sent back to the Belgian port. Anyway, they called it the Top Hat.
Okay.
That was the area that we went back, boarded ships.
Okay, and then you
Go
boarded
back
the
home.
ships, and what was your experiences on the ships coming back?
Well, that was crowded, very crowded.
Was it?
We were on a Liberty ship, and they're like a cork on the high seas.
Mm-hmm.
But we were quite concerned because Japan was still,
Yes.
we had Japan to fight, and we were going to land in New York, hit the train, and move right over to the West Coast and board other ships. That was the plan. But as we pulled into the New York port, the Japanese had surrendered.
Broke your
So
heart, I
that-
bet.
Yeah, that just tore me all up. And
So where did you go then from when you got into the port in New York?
well, I went to Chicago. I forget the name of it. Just north
Okay.
of Chicago.
And were you discharged there, or
I was discharged there.
and in
Yeah.
what was it,
I had to
Waukegan?
wait. They had the point system, and I had
Uh-huh.
to wait several months before I could.
Okay, so you didn't have a lot of points to get discharged right away.
Well, I was right on the borderline. And,
Were ya?
Yeah. Where they had the.
As I recall, the points were if you were married, how many children you had.
And I wasn't, so. It
You
was-
weren't married at that time.
Right. And they kept trying to get us to re-enlist.
You didn't think you wanted to do that?
I knew I didn't. The longer I waited, the more I had it. But I didn't.
Uh-huh. So then, as you were discharged, where did you go?
I hitchhiked home
You hitchhiked home from Chicago
from Chicago.
area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a big old truck that was gas or
Mhm.
oil or something. But anyway, it just bucked all the way. Rock and buck.
Just- So after you were at home, what did you do then? Did you have a job to go back to, or?
Well, I took a vacation
Mhm.
for the summer.
So that would have been the summer of what? What year do you think that was?
45.
45.
Yeah.
So when then did you start to work after your vacation?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know where I went to work.
You went somewhere,
I went back to school.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay, on the GI Bill.
Yeah. I hadn't finished high school.
Okay.
I went to Cass Tech
Mhm.
and finished my high school. And that's a big school.
Yeah.
Cass Tech.
Did you go to college then?
I started college at Wayne. And I got working, and the two of them didn't mix.
Yeah,
I
makes
went
sense.
homework to try and work. And the work was, I had no seniority, and I was always on the worst shifts, and swing shifts and everything else.
Mhm. During the war, how did you stay in touch with your relatives?
My sister kept in touch pretty much.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did you write her letters back, or send her
Yeah.
email, or what?
I wrote a few, yeah, those little emails that were folded
Yeah.
into an envelope, and it was, when you opened it up, it was the letter inside itself.
During the time that you were in this pocket of servicemen that were surrounded by the Germans in the Battle of the Bulge, did you feel like a lot of stress at that time, or were you pretty scared, or
I was scared.
were you used?
You know, you ever had the shakes for permanently?
Yeah.
And I had my frostbite and all that.
Yeah.
When I go to get things out of my pocket, I had to empty my pockets because I couldn't feel. If I wanted that cigarette,
Yeah.
letter. I had a Zippo at that time. I couldn't even tell a Zippo from keys or anything else.
Really?
My hands were so cold.
And your feet? How did you do with your feet?
Well, luckily they kept us in dry socks pretty good.
That's good. I'm sure that during that time you weren't didn't see any entertainers, but did you after a while, after you'd been back and be shipped home or anything? Was there any USO entertainers or anything like that?
I don't recall any entertainment at all. I remember when I went over, it was about the same time that they shot Meuller.
Yeah.
And about the same time. He
When
was
you
flying
went,
over,
yeah.
and I was on a boat.
Uh-huh.
That's the only difference.
Uh-huh. Any humorous or unusual events happen while you was in the service?
Well, I made pretty strong friendship with a fella that was from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay. And do you still keep in contact with him? Or?
His name was Moffett.
Muffin.
Archie Moffett. And he wanted to go back to France and start a taxi company. He was trying to get me into it.
Did he do that, you think?
We both were pretty lucky in cards. And I had sent home over $1,000 some. I was carrying another couple thousand for Moffett.
Uh-huh.
And he was carrying a good loan. I don't know if he had any other carriers, but he wanted to go back.
So was that American money or French money then?
That was American money.
Okay.
And but when we were playing the cards, you just stuff in your pocket. Some of that paper money was big.
Really?
First going over, it was real big. Then they got into our money, you know, for the France, and it got smaller.
Did you bring back any photographs or anything like that of the guys or the places you were at? Or?
Archie, I had a picture of him on the boat.
Did you? Still got it?
He was, I still got it, I don't know where, it's in one of my books. He was sick on the boat.
Was he? What did you think of the officers that you served under? You must have had, if you being a PFC, you must have had sergeants and so on. Were they pretty tough, or?
Well, I remember going over. We went with one of these 90-day wonders, and the guys hated him. They wanted to push him off the boat. But it turned out the guy was smart enough that he knew what to do when he got there. The captain was giving us wrong orders, and he just countered the captain's. The captain was an older man, though. I mean, First World War vintage.
Okay.
And he was outdated, definitely.
Do you remember that 90-day wonder's name?
No, but I understand he got killed before
Okay.
we got back. He was transferred to another outfit that had lost their lieutenant. And the captain, I don't know what happened to him.
Did you keep a diary at all during the time that you was in the service?
No. I just, didn't even want to.
I didn't want to remember all that stuff. Do you think your sister kept any of your letters or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Is she still alive?
No.
No.
She's been
So they wouldn't have any of her stuff anymore.
Let's see, how long has it been since the war?
60 years, pretty near 60. 41 to 2001 is 60
30's a
years.
good guess, I guess.
Yeah, that's a while ago, isn't
Yeah,
it?
she was about 6 years older than I.
Okay. Where was you the day that you were discharged? Do you remember that?
Where was I?
You was in the camp somewhere.
Well, yeah, I was in Chicago.
And
That camp, I just get I could remember it any other day but today.
the
It's a big camp that was outside of north of Chicago. We used to take the L into Chicago,
oh, did you?
so it was at the end of L. Yeah.
So it was right on the north side of Chicago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a town up there called Waukegan, near, the north part of Chicago.
I think it was near that.
Mm-hmm.
But we always went to Chicago. It
Yeah.
was more interesting.
Did you ever join any of the veterans organizations, VFW or American Legion or anything like that?
I joined the American Legion, or tried to, or didn't make. I think I joined them, and they were run by the First World War boys, and we were peons.
Oh, really?
And so it just didn't click with me.
Didn't work out too good. Did you do anything special, that, like carry a good luck charm or anything like that?
Probably, but I don't remember what it was.
Figure being captured maybe wasn't too good a luck, huh? Being surrounded there. So how often have you ever seen this fellow from Oklahoma again?
He came up to buy some cars for his taxi cab company.
So he had a taxi cab company
Yeah,
then,
in Tulsa. He didn't get back to France.
but he started one in Tulsa.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And he came up a couple of times now. And then all of a sudden, I wrote him Christmas time. And just all of a sudden, there was no answer.
Is there anything more that you can think of that would be interesting or humorous or anything that you did while you was in the service?
Offhand, I can't think of it.
Okay. Well, that just about ends it, Win. It's been nice talking to you.
Can I think of anything else?
Well, sure. Let me know. We can always add it on to the end of this tape since you live so close. And I know that it's kind of interesting, all of the things that you have to talk about. And thank you very much for the interview.